Good morning, colleagues. Firstly, I'd like to apologize. I've been unable to come and attend this event in person, but we thank the organizers for giving us an opportunity to meet as SMEs, to assist each other, to guide each other, and attempt to capacitate our ventures together. My name is Bumelelo Ndiweni. I'm the Chief Executive of Ezulu Foods. Ezulu Foods is a healthy food company. We grow our products firstly as crops organically, then we process them and we retail to yourselves as healthy food. We currently are retailing through Food Lovers Market, OK Zimbabwe, ABC, and also operate an online store for home deliveries. Now, our value proposition is we supply healthy food, answering the social call of the increase in lifestyle diseases, which are called non-communicable diseases, your BP, diabetes, cancers, and heart challenges. So we provide more than just food. We do not only supply food, our food is nutritional, our food is healthy. We currently have got 4 lines in the market. We've got our original garlic oil made up of olive oil and garlic. We also have got our Vital Breakfast, which is made of sorghum and moringa, and we've got Ezekiel cookies, our health biscuits that are diabetic friendly, and finally we've got our royal bee honey. This is what we currently have in the market. We will be introducing more products in the 2021 financial year so that we can provide you with healthy alternatives for your table to keep you all healthy. Now, I've been requested to give us a talk on how to build a sustainable business that lasts the long term, how to build business longevity. At the back of every entrepreneur's mind, at the back of every SME or business mind is how long are they going to stay in the market? How long will the business last? We all have that question at the back of our minds. And the answer is not straightforward. We all understand that the world is changing, the market keeps changing, the customer perceptions keep changing. So we therefore have to constantly be on the ball, constantly evaluating our business models, constantly evaluating our strategies. And more so, during this period where we've seen an increase in corporate mortality, we in Bulawayo, where this event is currently being hosted, know for a fact when we look at Dunnington, when we look at Belmont, it is the shadow of its former selves. Businesses have closed due to a variety of issues. And this is what we want to tackle today, to say how can we avoid shutting down? How can we avoid our businesses failing in the medium term? How can we ensure that our businesses last in the long term? Now, globally, there are 5,586 companies as of September 2020 that have lasted for more than 200 years. So these 5,600 companies have been able to go through the cycles, through the storms, through the depressions, and so forth and so on. And looking closer at the demography of these businesses, 56% of them are in Japan. That's more than half. More than half of them are in Japan. The next big group after Japan is businesses from Germany. So you've got 3/4 of the longest surviving companies in the world coming from Japan and Germany. And when you take a closer look at how these companies are structured, they are largely family-owned businesses that have gone through generations, with the oldest being Gogo, which has lasted for 40 generations. So immediately something comes up that the DNA of your business is critical to how long your business will last. That's one point. The second component, when you look at the demography of the longest surviving companies, they are not metasized big companies. These are not companies that are global with probably thousands and thousands of employees. These are companies that probably have got between 100 and 500 employees. So that immediately starts a discussion to say, as business, do we want to focus on size, or we want to focus on surviving the long term? Because research and history shows that actually it is not the biggest that survive long term. So it's the medium-sized ones that survive long term, and largely these are family-owned businesses. And when you then look at their character, most of those businesses have their roots in the communities that they operate in. So at a policy level, you'd actually want to encourage these, because that means that these businesses provide stability in their jurisdictions for longer periods. So, which again is another discussion for another day, that do we want to invite multinationals to our geographic areas, or would rather grow the businesses that are local and grow them to be medium sized? Because in the long term, these are the businesses that stay longer by virtue of them being rooted in the community that they are in. Now, there are four main characteristics which are common in all these businesses that have lasted this long. And again, this is to acknowledge there is no one size fits all. What works for Jimmy may not work for Ngabutu. So this is what is common in these that have lasted. So there's four sets of parameters that depicts, or that is found in these businesses. The four parameters that I'd like to share with us today, so that we can engage on them, interrogate them, and look at our own businesses and see that are we structuring our businesses in the proper context for them to last longer. So the first parameter that is inherent in all of these companies that have lasted long is the availability or the presence of a strong set of values. Now, this is integrity. These are businesses that are trusted. This is Mr. Dube by the corner, who is known that he fixes any stove problem that he meets. The community trusts him. They can actually leave their stoves with him. They can actually pay Dube a premium for them. They know Dube will get the job done. They also know that Dube not only is a man of integrity, but he is a man who's dedicated and committed. So the two values that actually come through is integrity, dedication, and commitment. And this is crucial, this is critical, that we interrogate our businesses. Can our businesses be trusted? Do our businesses exude the integrity that can draw and retain customers? Do we show dedication and commitment that a customer can actually trust us with their problems and know that we will solve their problems? So, which is why you'd find that the majority of the companies that have lasted longer are companies that have integrated into the community. Because this requires a balance between culture, company culture, and strategy. We need to balance those two. Culture what do the people expect? What do your customers expect? Strategy, does your value proposition speak to that? Is it able to execute that? Is it able to deliver on the expectation that your customer base is looking out for? So that's the first parameter that's inherent in all of them. The second one is adaptability. Now, the world is changing. And in this age at a faster pace, is your business model adaptable? Most of those businesses that have lasted longer, you have had a grip on managing resource allocation and the evolution of the business. One of the most difficult challenges that most businesses face is the inability to repurpose their existing capacity. You've put in a plant that produces 10 tons, for example, invested in the equipment, but the market is not absorbing, or rather is moving from that product. How are you repurposing that existing capacity? Most businesses fail there and therefore do not go the long haul. So this therefore introduces a component of modularity into our adaptability model. You need to build your business to be adaptable to the changes that actually happen around you. To be agile, your business needs to be able to move as things change. The third component that most of these companies have, by virtue of their sizes, they don't control the market most of the time. However, they stay ahead of the market by being constantly innovative. You need to be constantly innovative to go the long haul. Cases in point, if you look at Toyota, for example, they're constantly releasing new models, constantly. The cars are doing that. Look at the cell phone companies, Apple is doing that. You constantly need to be upgrading your products for you to last the long haul. Getting to a point where you lead the market through anticipation. So meaning you anticipate the market direction and you innovate as you anticipate the market, than being at the back of the market and responding to what the market is requiring. That's the third component. So you need to constantly innovate. The final component is sustainability. We need to build businesses that are sustainable. And sustainability requires us to balance the 3 C's, which are your customer needs, your costs, and your capacity. This dovetails into your ability to adapt. Understand your customer. Are you processing and solving your customer's problems? Costs. Are you managing your costs effectively? And finally, capacity. Are you sweating every inch or every centimeter of assets that you have within your care? This is what underpins sustainability. If you are unable to solve your customers' problems, your business will not be sustainable. If your costs are not managed well, your business will not be sustainable. If you're not sweating your assets, your business will not be sustainable. So this was just to begin a discussion, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. As I said, when I began, there is no one size fits all. We have got different value propositions, different markets, different products. So, but on assessing at a global stage, the parameters or the characteristics of the business that have lasted longer, these 4 components have come through. The first, strong values. Second, adaptability of the business. Third, constant innovation. Fourth, sustainability, being able to balance your customers, your costs and capacity. So if we can then look at our individual business models and reflect them against these characteristics, that will give us an indicator on how long down the road our businesses may subsist. That is all that, given the time allocated, that I could present. Hoping through the program directors and facilitators to open the floor for discussion on how can we build, because it's critical. It's critical for our local economy, it's critical for the national economy. The stability of our national economy, of our local economy, is through businesses that last longer. If government is availing funds, they want to invest in businesses that are going to go the long haul. Government and therefore taxpayers cannot constantly be funding companies that fail in 2-3 years. We need companies that go 20, 40, 100 years, 200 years. That way, we will then be able to achieve the objectives of alleviating poverty, the objective of stemming out hunger and malnutrition. So we need to focus on building models that speak to the long term. With this discussion will be the discussion also on size. As I mentioned when I began, that rarely do the companies that last longer be the big companies. It's largely the medium-sized companies whose sweet spot of employment is 100 to 500 employees. This is where we probably need to target to for us to go in the long term. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving us the opportunity as Ezulu Foods to come before you with our products. We've also, on your tea plates, supplied you with our Ezekiel cookies, which are very healthy, diabetic friendly. As you are enjoying them, we have not added any sugar onto them. So do enjoy them and be healthy. Exercise frequently, drink water frequently, have a positive mindset, and finally you need to eat healthy. Choose healthiness. Choose Ezulu Foods. We will provide you with the healthy foods. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you.